Thank you, Dimitris. Thank you very much. Now I will present this famous Tech4Regen or Tech4Regeneration program you've heard during the day. And we've heard about sustainability and regeneration. So I wanted to go a little bit through the rationale of this program and then leave the floor to the founding partners that will also explain why they support and they are participating to the program. So yeah, that's me, Bertrand Kleiber. Why we launched this program this year is because our economy is at risk. So I'm sorry, Veronique, I will be the one showing the plastic on the sea. But I think from an economic perspective, it's important to see the issue. This issue has been quantified by the so-called planetary boundaries. 6 of them have been breached. And we don't know exactly the effect. We start perceiving some of the effect. But what we know is that there are some instabilities, and those instabilities will not allow us to do the business as usual. There will be a depletion of natural resources. There will be climatic event. All that will have an impact on the economy. The problem is that business as usual is easier because we are focusing on short-term profit and we are jeopardizing the long-term prosperity of humanity. So this will have an impact, and the big question is how we can tackle that. This is this concept of regenerative economy. So just to show how we perceive regenerative economy, this is this famous diagram of the donut. So inside you have the societal needs that the economy is filling, like healthcare, energy, and many things we've seen today with the plastic and the consumer goods and so on. And sustainability is about filling those needs without harming the planet. The problem is not enough because there are some instabilities and we need to do more. So the regenerative economy means that we have still to fill the societal needs and at the same time reverse the breaches of the planetary boundaries. So this is a challenge. We go beyond sustainability. It's mandatory because we know that even if every single company would be perfectly sustainable, this would not be enough. The question is how to do that from a practical point of view. So I just give you a few just 2 examples. Climatic change. To stick to the 1.5 or even the 2 degrees target, that means that we have to leave under the ground more than half of the fossil fuels resources. And this is a huge loss of revenues. So it's very difficult for politicians or for companies to renounce to that, even for the consumers. So this is one of the first big issues. The second one is for biodiversity. We hear more and more about the voluntary carbon market. More and more companies and people try to compensate. And this is a very powerful instrument, by the way, to regenerate biodiversity. But if you look at the prediction, the prediction mentioned that $10 to $14 billion may be invested in reforestation projects. But there has been 157 the last decade invested in projects that are deforesting. So still, if on one hand we do regeneration and on the other one we do more for the regeneration, we need to reverse the balance. And this is a big issue. So the question is, who will pay for the regeneration? Because I just showed 2 examples, but we could have more examples with plastic and with water and so on. So will it be the governments, the citizens, the consumers willing to pay more for the products, the companies taking action, the financial sectors? That's still a big question. I believe that the answer is a little bit all of us, but it's going much too slowly. And we need to accelerate the movement. And we believe, and this is why we launched Tech4Regen, that we really need some substitute to the traditional model. We need to some alternative to the fossil fuels, to the petrochemicals. We've seen that during the day. It's really important. But also we need to show that those substitutes can be profitable, they can be competitive, they can be attractive for the consumers. And this is really important to consider the business aspects together with the technology. And we believe that we need to bring solutions and not wait to pay for the cost of regeneration. It's a complex issue. This issue involves also complex solution, and most of the solution can be tackled by a company alone, and this is something we've seen today. If we take just a circular economy, it involves also the energy for the production, the transportation, the different materials. So it's really important to have a cross-sectoral approach, and this is why in the program we try to put together companies from different sectors, startups from different sectors. We believe also that innovation will come from collaboration, and when we need to define new standards. I will not go through the mission, but this is just to say that the program, we have an ambitious mission. We don't exactly know how we will contribute to the regenerative economy. What we know is that we are not looking for startups that can be regenerative alone. What is important, because if we look, for example, to energy, it's not possible to be regenerative when you are producing energy, but you contribute to an economy that can be regenerative. So this is what we are looking for. We are learning in the first year, but we are learning by action. So what we know is that we can identify some startup, accelerate them, try to build some pilot site and to build bridges with the industry. This is what we do in the program, and we try to gather people willing to collaborate. So what we've done this year, we've done a lot of workshops with the startups. We've done some coaching like other programs, but also we've done some events like the one today with EPFL. But we've done some because we wanted to explore some key topics like the role of digital trust in sustainability, but also the consequences of the digitalization on sustainability. We had also a seminar with on regenerative finance, because it's really important to see how the financial institution will contribute to this regenerative economy. And we had also some roadshows, one with Canada. It's important to also identify innovation from other countries and to expose our startup to different markets. We'll try to do more in the futures. We had a collaboration with the Hack Summit to meet investors from different countries. So this is the kind of things we do in the program, but we try to do very practical. And there will be on the website within 1 week or two annual report with more figures on the program and more achievements, so I don't want to go through. But for the first year, I'm very happy of the result. I've seen some huge progress from some startups. I don't know if it's only thanks to the program, but it was very rewarding to work with them. And now I want to give the floors to the partners of the program, starting by Caroline Kennedy, with the Sustainability Director of Logitech. Logitech was the founding partner of the program, so thank you very much. And we are very eager to understand why also you support this program.
Thank you. Thank you. That's wonderful. Thank you. So hi, everyone. I'm Caroline Kennedy from Logitech, and delighted to be here. Thank you to EPFL for hosting us, and for Bertrand for giving us the opportunity to speak here today. What I was asked to do was share a bit of the innovation that we are doing at Logitech, and really specifically where we know we're moving into disruptive innovation, where we need startup support and collaboration, and where we're getting more and more involved in R&D as well. So it's a bit of a whistle-stop tour, because it is 10 minutes, but the intention is to give you a sense of the kind of things that we're interested to collaborate more on. And there's a couple of us here from the team available to talk more after as well. So I just wanted to start from the beginning. I guess we work in technology innovation. So we're the mouse and keyboards company is what we're known for. Our portfolio is more diverse than that, covers more than that, but that's what we're well known for. And technology has traditionally been designed for cost, schedule, and experience. So CSX, it's even acronymed, it's been around that long. What we've been doing in Logitech is we've really been looking at our own in-house design capability. So we have full in-house design capability worldwide. We own our designs, and we've been trying to decide how could we embrace sustainability as part of that design focus. So how do you fundamentally design for sustainability? Now, there's been a couple of talks here today where people have kind of been looking at how do you modify the supply chain, the business model. There's certainly a place for companies like ourselves who are design focused to really say, how can we anticipate what will be coming and design for that? How can we design experiences for our consumers that enable them to embrace circularity and more sustainable lifestyles? We sometimes use this image internally just to kind of share within the company the diversity of thought leadership that's needed here. So we really, many of you will know the right side of your brain is associated with creativity, imagination, self-expression. As designers at our hearts, we're fundamentally all about that. So we're trying to anticipate what does the consumer want and want to experience and how do we design for that. On the other hand, the left side of the brain is all about logic and rationality and practicality. And certainly when it comes to designing for sustainability and embracing circularity, you'll have heard a lot today about trying to bring those two worlds together. So how do we imagine a future that we can't quite imagine? How do we move outside a certain amount of pessimism about what that future might look like? And how do we bring that kind of commercial and business acumen as well to actually scale these solutions and look at these technologies with a really pragmatic approach? In Logitech, we have a design for sustainability framework, as I said. We launched that a number of years ago, and what we talk about internally is that lots of small things really add up. So we're really focused in on the detail of innovation and the detail of our products. We've made a lot of progress insofar as we're heavily now investing in recycled materials. On our recycled plastics program, which would be one of our flagship programs, we've really grown our own confidence around how you take a basic material like virgin plastic, which is really commonly used across the portfolio on the packaging. And as a company, we took a commitment to eliminate virgin plastic entirely from the packaging and across the portfolio to use recycled plastics wherever possible. And this was a real innovation challenge for us because it kind of broke down circularity into something really tangible that sounds really simple. But I think from the people here who are presenting on plastics, you get a sense the plastic ecosystem is really complex right now. And as a global brand that makes lots of small things, trying to change a basic material like plastic to a recycled alternative brought us right into the world of, well, how does our supply chain work? And who sources plastic? And how do we influence our molders? And how do we influence our consumers to understand this and working through that? So we've been working in the area of materials in a very significant way for a number of years now. We've full in-house material science as well, but we're actively looking for partners to develop around those materials. We're moving from plastics to metals now as well, where we have really small quantities of high-value materials in some of the products, so we're working through that. And then there's more of a design focus on the architecture as well, where we're doing things like reviewing how printed circuit boards are made, how metals are crafted into the products, how our actual design architecture creates waste or not. The other thing that we're heavily focused on and really interested to talk to startups and collaborate around is this idea of hidden impacts. It's quite challenging to be moving into a new paradigm of how we want to design business models for circularity without right now even understanding the carbon impact of current designs. So again, you'll hear from many people, there's different standards for life cycle assessment, there's different standards for carbon footprinting. A number of years ago, we decided to take the voluntary step to go all in on life cycle analysis. So we volunteered as a company to put a carbon impact label on our box. We talk a lot about there being a need for carbon literacy, for carbon being the new calorie, for people really needing to understand that. Part of that was just helping the consumer understand and engage with the topic. But a big part of that was for us as well, trying to find a way to measure and guide these big picture decisions around how do you build these new business models that are going to take us forward. So this is our investment in LCA and our kind of the capability that we've grown there internally has been helped through R&D and development and partnerships, startup technologies as well. We are swimming in data, like every brand that is out there, just curating and understanding that data and transforming it into insights and wisdom is super challenging. But that's something that we're really working actively to resolve. And what we're doing with the data at the moment is we're building tools. So as a company, our sustainability team are really small. But what the role of the sustainability team is and the broader engineering teams is to build tools that enable decision making. So helping designers access really easy tools to say, what's the carbon impact of the different designs that I'm considering? Working with the packaging team to say, what happens when you do eliminate the plastic? And how do you ensure that the paper is responsibly sourced? So we've built our own in-house tools on carbon and circularity. There's a lot of thought leadership going into them, and there's a lot more to be done. There's no current standard or systemized way of measuring these things in a way that companies can agree on. So plenty of opportunity for collaboration there. What we've been recognizing is that disruptive innovation comes from many, many places. We do a lot in-house. We do a lot with our extended approved partners, let's just say. Our supply chain is absolutely critical. We've seriously ramped up our engagement of our supply chain and our distributors. So all along our value chain, we're looking for ideas on innovation and circularity. But there's also really a recognition that the innovation is coming from places that we wouldn't expect. So third parties sitting outside the current model and the current business way of doing things and looking at things totally differently is really, really helping with the development of these new processes. And this is one of the things that we've been talking about how do you scale? So we've been looking quite a lot internally about how do we quickly, as a private sector company, move from idea to POC to prototype. And the challenge here is really that we're a global brand with an enormous portfolio that we sell in every country worldwide. But ultimately, that's like a huge train on the tracks. So it's a huge opportunity, and it's something that we're absolutely committed to. The challenge is building the space to innovate. So building a safe space to try something and to really learn. And in the tech sector, I guess we have a philosophy of fail fast and learn. We try to embrace that idea of it's good to fail, you just fail fast. Don't dabble around in it for too long. And what we're trying to do a lot at this stage is we're moving towards the POC prototyping stage. We're gone beyond the kind of ideas conceptually or ideas of how we might do it. We're really saying, let's try things, let's see what we can learn. And that's particularly important for us, I think, because of the engagement with the consumer audience and just helping consumers understand what this might mean as well. That has led us to launch our Future Positive Challenge. And again, my colleagues in the room will be able to talk you through that a lot more afterwards if you're interested. But this is effectively a challenge for startups to come to us, present ideas on sustainability, and we will work through those with you in a systematic way. We're actually open for startup collaboration all year round, but what the Future Positive Challenge has done is it has allowed us to set up a lighthouse to attract startups, where we're overtly sharing what we're interested in, what we're looking for, and we've now created a channel for startups to come through to us so we can actually work through it and give the new ideas the time that they need. We're particularly interested in battery technology, materials, integrated circuits, printed circuits, tech, or electronic and electrical components, super important. On the micro scale is super important. We're right down in the details of that technology. And then this year we added business models, where we're really thinking business models typically is dealt with in-house, but we need the technologies and capabilities to actually support that and drive that business model development. There's been huge successes already. The Future Positive Challenge is only 2 years old, but we've done a lot of innovation, particularly around, we've got just plenty of examples here around recycled cobalt in batteries, recycled rare earth elements. Fundamentally, materials has been a heavy focus, but there's also things like the printed circuit boards, as I say, and how we print our integrated circuits as well. So plenty of good examples in the early stages, which is really, really promising. But it's really we're going to be running this in perpetuity for the future to try and bring in those ideas from thought leaders worldwide and see where we can partner. So overall, just to give you a sense of it, I was asked to come in and share the key challenges and the key opportunities, but I think as a company who is positioning as a leader in the space, we really are. We have made many commitments to sustainability. We have best-in-class, super ambitious carbon targets. We've really taken a step internally of recognizing that innovation and that collaboration is absolutely key. So we're categorizing some of the learnings that we have come across around how you can approach this, and we're really interested to talk more to see how you can contribute and how we can partner. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. For each of we addressed several topics during this first edition of the program, and I wanted to give the floor to the startups to briefly present themselves. But the startups we had around new materials, recycling, and the industrial process did already present before, so I will not let them the floor, but they have a booth. You can speak with them. Unfortunately, Lagrange had to decline because the CEO is sick. And I will give the floor to the second founding partner, Romand Energy. Thank you, Laurent.
Thank you, Bertrand. So I'm Laurent Motaya. I'm Head of Innovation Strategy and Venture Building at Romande Energy. And today I won't have time to present you in details all the innovations we are doing within Romande Energy, but I will more focus on the challenges that we are facing as a utility. And let's hope that some entrepreneurs in the room would be able to answer to these challenges in the near future. So I will go very briefly over Romande Energy and Romande Energy Ventures, just a quick introduction about who we are. So as you may probably know, we are the leading electricity supplier in Western Switzerland with more than 300,000 clients. Our mission is really to make West Switzerland the first net zero region. It's really at the core of all our activities, and it's really deeply rooted in every employee at Romande Energy. We have a small team called Romande Energy Ventures, where we deal with innovation and also partnerships with startups. So we have 3 entities within that team. The first one is corporate venture building. It's like a small startup studio. We try to launch a new product, new services that are quite innovative. The second one is CVC, corporate venture capital. We invest in pre-seed and seed startups in Switzerland and Europe. And the third one is a team dedicated to innovation strategy and foresight. We conduct market analysis, technology watch, and we try to anticipate the future of energy in Switzerland. So now I will talk about our innovation challenges. I really liked what Professor Maréchal said. You have to see it as a systemic, with a systemic approach. I mean, I will talk about many different fields, but in fact, all these innovations are interconnected most of the time. So you have to keep that in mind. And I will start with, let's say, three topics. The first one is grid expansion. As you know, well, the electrification is accelerating. And as a grid operator, we want to anticipate it and facilitate the electrification of end-use consumption. That's our first challenge. But doing that, we want also to limit the cost of this grid electrification, of this electrification of use. We cannot, of course, put sensors everywhere on the grid. This wouldn't be reasonable for our customers. And the third challenge is at the same time we will also to simplify the customer experience. So regarding that topic, we can have many innovations linked to that. We can talk about PV, solar PV curtailment. We can talk about open data. How can we, for example, make the data available to third parties? You know that consumption data are confidential. We cannot share them publicly with anyone. So what we are trying to do right now is to create artificial, what we call synthetic profiles, artificial consumption data from imaginary customers, but these artificial profiles are based on real data, but they are anonymous. So the goal here is to maybe in the near future to open and give access to this data to everyone so that entrepreneurs would be able to create new energy services for our customers. And of course, there are dynamic tariffs, and when we talk about reducing the electrification cost, we can talk about predictive maintenance, for example, based on AI. So there are many innovations behind these challenges. I won't go into many more details, but just to keep in mind what we are facing right now. The second topic is flexibility, and really the second one is also quite linked with the first one. But when we talk about flexibility, it relates to grid operations, but it also relates to energy portfolio. at all time, we want to balance the consumption and the production on the grid. And it's getting more and more difficult. The more renewable energy are integrated into the grid, the more difficult it is to predict the production, and it has always been difficult also to predict the consumption. So anyway, it's our role to have this balance at all time. And to do that, there are many innovations that we could implement that would help us on one side to predict, for example, the consumption or even the production now. You need to imagine that it is a problem for us, for example, if we have planned a sunny day over the Canton de Vaud during the next 2 hours and that suddenly there is a bleak cloud coming that wasn't expected and which will really impact the solar PV production on our zone. It's really a problem for us. And you don't have the meteorological data that will be precise enough to tell you that, to anticipate these situations, even in a short time period. So these are the challenges we are facing right now. I've listed some innovations here. I can talk also about power to heat. You heard about solid watts earlier. So it's all about how we can create heat from electricity, because the main advantage here is that it will be a source of flexibility also for us, for our energy portfolio and for our grid. Concerning heating, we develop heating districts also. And most of them are biomass-based heating districts. But here, it's about efficiency. As I said, for electricity networks, here again, we need to be able to balance the production with the consumption in order to avoid energy loss. If we produce too much, it won't be efficient, and we cannot produce too little. So here we have developed digital tools to help us do that, based on AIs. I won't go into many details here. And also we are considering capturing CO2 from our heating district power plants. That's an option, but you have to look at it at an ecosystem level. What could we do with that CO2? Could we use it locally? Should we store it? How could we store it? And that's a big problem here in Switzerland. Finally, two other topics. The first one is B2C electricity supply. So the way people consume electricity is changing, as you know. Now they are able to produce their own electricity with solar panels. Sometimes they have their own storage system with batteries at home. So how can we get the most from this decentralized electricity? That's a big challenge. How can we offer dynamic tariffs to these clients? How can we help them increase their self-consumption at home? Many things behind these topics. And finally, building energy renovation. As you may know, there are a lot of CO2 emissions reduction we could get from building renovation in Switzerland. We try to accelerate it. So we have developed models based on data to accelerate this process, to be able to identify the right buildings to renovate first, to prioritize them, to create synergies between real estate portfolios. So we try to facilitate that renovation. And even without renovation, you can think about decarbonizing the existing buildings. Here again, digital tools will help you, particularly controlling the HVAC system. HVAC is for heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. You can really optimize the energy efficiency of these buildings. So these are the challenges we are facing right now, and our most strategic priorities. But now let's hear from entrepreneurs from Tech4Regen, and please join me in welcoming the startups that will help solve these challenges. Thank you.
So the first startup is Neology. So the startups have only 1 minute. The goal is not to go in too much in detail. It's more a teaser because they have a booth so that you can speak with them after. So yeah, you have 1 minute.
Thank you, Bertrand. So I will be very short. I guess you all have seen diesel generators or probably even smelled those diesel generators that you can find in remote locations, industries, but especially in construction sites. They're very convenient, they're very cost competitive, but they are very harmful to health. I mean, direct emissions, CO2, NOx, and all these kind of things. And on top of that, they have CO2, which is creating a much bigger problem that we discussed today. We propose at Neology to use the different molecules that is carbon-free and that you can actually produce without emissions from its source to the end, and to generate electricity out of this. So we have an ammonia cracking technology. We combine this with a fuel cell, and then you create electricity on site where you need it. And actually, you can see our 5 kilowatts scale demonstrator on the vehicle just outside. So actually, it's not a vehicle that cleans EPFL, but it's actually a demonstration unit that's mounted on this. And now we are scaling up the technology to actually go to 200 kilowatts, which is the scale that construction sites or these kind of users require. We're also fundraising. If there are some angel investors or any investors, we're always open. And paid pilots, or pilots in general, this is something we look to demonstrate ammonia to power. Thank you very much. And I'm Iris Marunian, just back there if you want to talk to me. Thank you.
So I think I'm next. So hi everyone, I'm Nicolas Dietrich from Vulturis, and at Vulturis we developed the first solar modules that are compatible with greenhouse agriculture and the production of solar energy. We do it by using spectral filtering technology, so our modules filter the light, give the crops all the light they need for the photosynthesis, and the rest of the light we reflected, concentrated onto a small solar panel to produce solar energy. So by doing so, we unlock a huge surface, so those greenhouses, for the production of solar energy. We offer growers an energy as a service solution, which means that the grower, they only pay for the electricity that they receive, and this allows them to enhance profitability, energy independence, and sustainability. Vulturis was founded 2.5 years ago. We currently, at the moment, having a very good traction. We have ongoing project with industry leaders in Switzerland, but also France, the Netherlands, and Belgium. And to further accelerate this growth, we've also secured like key partnership in our development, for instance, with Romande Energy in our current largest project in Geneva, but also industrial players like 3M, the American technology company, for the production of a filter. So I brought one of our modules in the booth just down there, so happy if you're curious to learn more about it. I'll be very happy to present it in more detail. Thanks a lot.
Hi everyone, my name is Jordan Bertrich, and I'm representing the company So High Tech. So the main mission of our company was to create a reality of today for green hydrogen economy. So we spent over 11 years of research and development to create our technology with its a fully integrated solution called photoelectrochemical device to create a more efficient way of producing green hydrogen so we are using concentrated solar to have a really high density. So far we are holding the world record as the most efficient and cost-effective solar to hydrogen system. We already prove a really high efficiency, as I said. This is our pilot, which is here at EPFL. Unfortunately, is the dark outside, so you couldn't see it properly working, but we are more than welcome to show you how it is. Developing real project, industrial project already in Switzerland. We are keep pushing on it and proving how great is our technology. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Jonathan. I'm CTO and co-founder of Planeto. Today, more than 80% of the heat in buildings is still coming from fossil fuels. And energy utilities, as we heard, are obliged to address this by building district heating and cooling networks to bring clean energy to hundreds of thousands of buildings throughout the world, particularly in Switzerland and in Europe. Now, engineers at utilities today, they have to design thousands of new networks every year to meet this need, but they're using tools from the last century. They just cannot design the new generation of renewably powered district heating systems that are needed. So our engineers need help, and I don't know if you guys like James Bond movies, but in Bond movies, he turns to the scientist, Q, for the tools that he needs to complete his mission. So Planeto is Q, but for district heating and cooling projects. We have a physics-driven AI model that powers our software platform to deliver the data and the science needed to deliver these new types of renewable district heating systems. By decarbonizing heating and cooling using local renewable energy, we can reduce 100 million tons of CO2 by 2050. So I invite you to talk to me later. We have an open seed round to grow with our first clients, and we thank you very much for your attention.
The last one is Swiss Store. Because Emissium did already speak before.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Clara Moldovan. I'm the founder of Swiss Store, and we develop novel energy storage devices based on supercapacitors, which complement batteries and achieve 10 times more power and significantly longer lifetime, and while using non-critical and sustainable materials. And these features are very important for many applications. For example, to enable more reliable and more sustainable AI data centers, which now need very high power peaks due to the very high power needs that we have today. And as well, they can enable IoT devices, solar power that we can deploy everywhere without ever needing to change the battery, well, for 15 years because of the very high lifetime of the devices. We developed devices in the lab that you can see here in form of pouch cells, and now we're getting ready for product industrialization, and we're looking for partners and investors that would like to support us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And then we had another category, it's regenerative sourcing and agriculture. I present that category because we would have loved to have Nestle or big company supporting this category, but it will be probably for next year. We have 3 very amazing startups. So the first one is Gaia Tech.
Thanks, Bertrand. Hello, everyone. My name is Sam. I'm one of the co-founders at Gaia Tech. Who had a coffee or a fruit juice earlier in the break? Very good. So for the drinks and the food we consume, they have plenty of side streams, peels, pommes, pits. At Gaia Tech, we're developing a platform of solutions to transform these side streams into effective ingredients for industrial applications. For example, from the olive pommes, we extract additives that prolong shelf life of mayonnaise and margarine, or ingredients for skincare, beauty lotions, body scrubs, face masks, and mascara. Our sustainable chemicals have 2 core benefits. They can be easily integrated into products, and they are effective and healthy for consumers. Right now, the team is scaling the production from kilos to tons, and we have a dozen of product manufacturers and distributors that are testing our ingredients. Please get in touch with me and discover the magic of upcycling. Thank you very much. Should I do this as well?
Hello, everybody. I am the co-founder and CEO of Biomed. You perhaps know that, but we live in a world very polluted, and it affects our health, it affects biodiversity, it affects water supplies and other type of medium. And we have co-founded with Patricia Biomed. Patricia is a doctor in oncology, and I am Ludovic, engineer in agronomy. And we use plants to naturally extract pollutants in the soil. And we map these pollutants with innovative tools, IA, and satellite images. Thank you all.
Up to 45% of the pesticides can be removed from the Swiss farms every year. Climate is changing. Traditional farming practices are not effective anymore because of excessive impacts that are coming due to climate changes. At DataBomb, we are providing data intelligence to the different stakeholders so that they can take the right decision on right time without losing the food security. And this is what we are doing. At present, we are covering over 2% of the Swiss grapevine area, and we have a revenue of over 100,000. But our story is not about revenues. Our story is about securing the food and ecology together. Let's connect to join in this regenerative ecosystem building and do it step by step. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now I leave the floor to our third co-partner, is a Foundation Valerie. Yeah. So Yannick Richel.
Thank you very much. So I'm very pleased to introduce you Fondation Valerie, who is a non-profit organization, a foundation based in Lausanne, trying to do things a little bit differently. So maybe I'm going to provide you a bit more of a financial perspective that hasn't really been addressed today. So historically, impact was considered as being the responsibility from non-profit organizations, especially in biodiversity. And on the other side, you had the market that was looking for profit. And some people today have raised the concern that there was a death valley, a financial a funding gap within those technologies. And I think that this comes from the fact that now those impact technologies are shifting towards a more for-profit approach. So on one hand, you have philanthropies that say, this is for profit, this is not for me. And on the other hand, you have the market saying, prove me that this is actually for profit, and then I'm going to invest. And you have a lot of those startups that are stuck in the middle, delivering impact, but too young to prove their financial potential, and they get stuck in this in-between. So the way we try to address it at Fondation Valerie is maybe well explained through our mantra, which is we're too small to change the world, but small enough to enter the rabbit hole. Basically meaning that we're not a big foundation. We don't have a big financial volume to dedicate to solutions, but we can be the actor that tries to do things differently, to try a different approach, eventually inspiring other bigger players to then come with the big money and make the difference. So maybe to describe what the foundation is doing, we have 3 core pillars. We have biodiversity, renewable energy, and circular economy. We have a strong focus on financial innovation and technological innovation as well. Then what makes us a little bit different is that we say we are impact driven. It's impact first. So we're agnostic between non-profit and for-profit. To give an example, so the non-profit one is easy to understand. We have non-profit money. We give it to academic non-profit research. This is the basic business model. Where we try to be a little bit different is, for example, if I take the example of circular economy, we have Bloom Biorenewables that was presenting today. They had a way to develop a linen-based wood adhesive. So we partner with an academic structure. We pay for R&D with non-profit money. They get access to the new technology, and this fast tracks the transition from theory to the market. In renewable energies, for example, we have Valkyries, which just presented as well. They need to build their first large-scale infrastructure, which has lower economies of scales, higher risk, lack of data, and so on. So we partner with a financial institution to provide them with venture debt so that they can build infrastructure, deliver the data, and then hopefully convince the next bigger investor to put more money in it. And finally, biodiversity. If I take the example of Open Forest Protocol, who also presented, who's gonna present, they needed capital to unlock their cap table and convinced other investors to invest as well. So we unlocked the cap table, and now they closed their round successfully. So we are leveraging different kind of instruments to enable the startup to pass this death valley and hopefully make it to the scale-up phase. Regarding our strategy, so our vision regarding biodiversity stays in 4 pillars. Monitoring, which is encompassing all the technologies to monitor on a large scale biodiversity, so it can be bioacoustic, eDNA, satellite imagery, and so on. This information needs to be stored. We strongly believe in a blockchain potential in order to make this a more transparent and easier information easier to exchange as well. Metric generation, because data doesn't really have value, it has value as information. So how do you translate large sets of data into valuable information? And finally, how do you make this information valuable? We believe that nature should be considered as a financial asset, or as an asset at least. And big question is, how do you merge the financial economy with nature? And I think that a data-driven approach is what is going to enable us to include nature within traditional financial frameworks. So now, coming back to DataBaum. DataBaum has developed this pest management, a pesticide management tool that enables farmers to reduce their consumption. So instead of spraying all the time, they have an algorithm that tells them you need to spray at this moment because now there's a pest going on in your field. This they wanted to scale up. On the other hand, they also wanted to include biodiversity data within their decision system. And from our perspective, there are 2 different needs, one for the scale-up, one for the proof of concept, both having tremendous impact, 100 tons a year of pesticides saved, which is quite a bit, and huge potential as well to enable farmers to better monitor their biodiversity impact. So what did we do? We used a blended finance approach, meaning that on one side, we are partnering with Tech4Regen. So we send them the money, and they're going to enable us to get access to the startup by acting as a bridge between us and them, leveraging academic infrastructure from EPFL in order to do the proof of concept of the whole biodiversity monitoring. And this is going to be under a non-dilutive grant format. So on this side, we are going to try, so we don't ask anything in return. For the scale-up phase, where they also had some needs, this is more suitable for equity. So what we said is, okay, we put half on the equity side, half on the non-profit side. Hopefully, if this works out, in the future, the for-profit part pays for the non-profit one. And hopefully, this is self-financing impact paying for itself so that we can finance the next startup in the same way. Also want to mention the huge help of Tech4Regen, because for non-profit organizations like us, we cannot send the money to the startup directly. So it's absolutely amazing to be able to rely on a partner like Tech4Regen, who's going to do the bridge, help us also leverage the EPFL infrastructure. And also special shout out to Kara, the coach, who is also helping us a lot in managing the project. Also want to mention that on the grant side, when partnering with Innovo, who's also providing sustainable, quite a big grant in partnership with us. And little quote, And I'd also like to introduce the next startups, which are already on the side. Signature, Aquascope, Open Forest Protocol, Space for Good, and Inverto, who are doing an amazing job in terms of promoting biodiversity in a for-profit model, so not only sustained by philanthropic funds, but building a business model around it, so a big shout out to them.
Okay. Olivier, Aquascope will not be here today. He had another commitment.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Olivier from Nature, and we believe that we have one of the most effective ways to monitor biodiversity. The big problem we want to address is the biodiversity collapse. As you may know, in the last 50 years, we lost 70% of all terrestrial animals. What's even more terrifying to me is that we do not even know by the order of magnitude how many species we lose on a daily basis. It could be 1, it could be 10, it could be 100. So what we need is better technology to monitor biodiversity, and this is our contribution. It's an intelligent microphone that records sound in real time, sends it to the cloud from the field, and with our AI, we can detect and identify species. We started to do monitoring with wolves, and now we want to scale it up to 10,000 species. We're also starting a seed round, and with that, I'm at the end of my presentation. Thank you so much.
So, I'm Fred. We're proposing a new digital standard in the voluntary carbon space. And as you probably know, the voluntary carbon space needs improvements. You probably have seen a few articles last year, or even this year, about carbon credits. It's also a space that is going to grow quite significantly over the last decades. So we are in this space looking at reforestation specifically as a nature class asset in the first place. And we are bringing a system that is doing a lot of things differently than the existing standards. So we're doing it digitally. We're doing it with an access for everyone. So even the very small projects have access to our standards with no cost. We're doing it with full transparency, where all the data that is collected on the ground, verified by third parties, is visible by anyone, so you can make up your mind on if this is real or if it's not real. And so basically, to wrap it up, if you're a company interested in those type of assets, don't want to end up in the front page of a Guardian, talk to us.
All right, thanks, man. Hi, my name is Alex and I'm the founder of Space for Good. Today I want to present you our first product we developed. Its name is Forester. Forest protects forest against illegal deforestation. Illegal deforestation is a huge economic and environmental issue. Particular landowners and concession holders report up to 30% of annual losses in tropical regions. With the support of the European Space Agency, with our pilot customers in Brazil, Indonesia and Ecuador, we developed Forester to fight deforestation together. Using our proprietary satellite Earth observation algorithm, we detect suspicious activities and then send a WhatsApp message to our forest guardians on the ground who verify the event. Using smartphones or drones, an automatic report is being generated, which at the same time is training our algorithm to get better and better. Actually, it became so good that we now can even offer deforestation predictions, something what is unheard in the industry, very novel and innovative, and we haven't seen in the last 7 years since we've been operating in this field. The pilot results are really amazing. We've seen deforestation drops by 60%. Forests actually recovered. Our models are better than any open standards or global models, and our customers have been reporting cost savings up to 80%. So, now, of course, we would like to bring this further to the world. Accordingly, we're looking for further pilots. We want to scale our application and also looking for seed finance of 2 million euros. Thank you very much. Please meet me at the stand.
All right, hello everyone. Very excited to be talking about Biodiversity Day. I think it's already been emphasized how important it is, but I'd just like to add it's also already costing us money today. People paying hundreds of millions of pollination services, fish stocks are collapsing, its effects are already being felt. And unfortunately, carbon markets are not the most direct solution to address this. Only 0.7% of voluntary carbon credits are actually restoring biodiverse and native ecosystems. And that's essentially what we want to address at Inverto Earth. So we work with local partners, help them scale their restoration efforts, particularly in coastal ecosystems that have a very high impact, such as mangrove forests. And more importantly, we measure the biodiversity impacts of this to compare them to reference sites of wild ecosystems to ensure that there really is being this uplift in biodiversity and that we're moving towards not just a net zero future, but one that's actually net positive. So essentially, we're using a range of different technology to measure and assess biodiversity at scale. And if you'd like to learn more, please get in touch and have a chat to me. I'll be out there. And I don't want to hold off from the drinks, I guess, any longer. I guess I'm the last one. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I believe we can do it on time, so I have some pressure. We still have 10 minutes, but I want to do a couple of announcements before the end. The remote control is not working, but first, I would like to welcome Tom Rosenfield because we have the chance to give not one, but 2 prizes for social innovations. But maybe, Tom, you want to give a few words.
Just want to say hello and thank you for the invitation to the event. I should say that this is the 17th and 18th prize that the Rosenfield Fund has given to EPFL Innovation Park startups or projects, and our objective is very clear. We want the project or the person to be involved in technology or an occupation which makes a positive social impact, and we've been doing that for now almost 20 years, more than 20 years, but at the EPFL we've been doing it since 2019. So I want to congratulate everyone. In fact, it was. One thing I would like to say is that I would like to thank Bertrand and his associates for really making this possible. This is the newest part of the EPFL Innovation Park, which has been doing great. And I have to say, after looking at the posters outside, anybody could win this prize. Any one of your organizations could win this prize. But thank you very much for inviting us and for being part of this really great program.
Thank you so much. I don't know if you want to give. We'll disclose the 2 winners. There are 2. So the first one, it's Databaum. And yeah, if you want a picture. And you can still have a couple of beers because the money is not on the envelopes, okay? You can drink tonight. Congratulations. And yeah, we've really seen a huge dedication from the founder during the program. And the second winner, it's Open Forest Protocol. Bravo. Thank you very much, Tom. Also, I want to say thank you to the team behind the program. So it's a very small team that has done a lot of things. So thank you very much, Pauline, that is behind the scene. And she's our communication manager, so you can communicate with her after. And we have Sinan. I don't know where is Sinan, but I know he will be at the beer garden after. So if you want some beer, he's the guy. Thank you so much for the team. I want to thank you also the community of the mentors. We had a lot of experts for assessing the different applications, but also supporting the startups. And we had a team of coaches as well that helped support the startups all along the program. And something interesting, we had coaches that were all successful entrepreneurs or that had the C-level position in the industry. So the goal was really not to help the startups doing a mere business model, but it was really to help them with industrialization, how to liaise with the industry and the market and so on. So thank you so much for the coach. We asked the startups to rank, to give some feedback on the program and the workshop and the coaches. And actually, it's interesting because they give very good feedbacks on all the mentors, all the coaches, but there is one that has really stand apart and that has done a lot more. There is one coach that did really help many startups, put them in contact with investors, help them with the due diligence, help them with InnoSwiss project application, connect with EPFL. The list is long, but I really want to give a special thank you to Cara. Please. That's a regenerative gift, but I'm really looking forward to continue the collaboration, and thank you very much for all you've done for the startups and the program. Thank you very much. You want to
thank you to all the startups. And the other coaches were fantastic. I saw Eric somewhere. I think he's here somewhere. But yes, no, it's been wonderful collaborating. And this was just the first year, so I think there were many lessons learned. But we really look forward to working with the new cohort next year and to hopefully continue supporting the alumni. Thank you. And thank you, Bertrand.
Thank you very much. And this is something very important. We've seen some huge progress from the startups, and there are some startups we don't want to leave alone on the market. We want to continue to support, so we are thinking how we can help with the pilot, with the progress. So we will find a way to help scale-ups, don't worry. Then I want also to announce a new partner. So we have a new partner supporting the project, is Edmond de Rothschild. So we have Arthur here in the room, but I want to thank you really much, this new partner. And I think it's very important for the program. First, because they will bring, you've seen before, regenerative finance is it's a very key topic. How to finance regeneration, how to see the evolution of the new financial instruments, impact assessments. So they bring some invaluable expertise that really comes to support all the programs with the workshop and with the support of the startups. But also they have a long experience with entrepreneurs, and they will help us to define a focus on regenerative agriculture and sourcing, which will be one of the key topics for next year as well. So thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to this collaboration. And there are two other collaborations I want to announce. The first one is with the Hack Summit. We were really amazed by the Hack Summit in Lausanne in May this year, and we want to continue and to enhance the collaboration with the Hack Summit. All the startups have met a lot of investors from all over the world, and we've been able to communicate with investors, and it was really interesting. It was not just pitching session, it was really collaboration, discussion, and very productive meetings. I don't go through the details, sorry. The last collaboration is with Brainforest. Brainforest in Zurich is doing an amazing job in scouting and helping startup for biodiversity and regenerative food. We have Cami here in the room, but they have a roll-up, so if you want to learn more, we believe that there is a very important synergy, because first, their startups may come in our program after. We are at different stages, but we can put together our expertise. We will organize some workshops and events together. So again, our goal is to work with the ecosystem, to reinforce the ecosystem, and we will do that through more partnership in the future. So thank you so much, Brainforest. And what's the last? And the last slide is on the call for application. So just I think next week we will launch officially the call for application, and startups will have 2 months to apply. Here are a few of the thematics we are defining with our partners, Logitech, Edmond Rothschild, and we are still in discussion with more partners. But again, the circular economy, we want to focus also on the electrical system and the electronic components. You've seen today we are missing solution. It's a very challenging area, and we are surrounded by electronics and electrical system. And biodiversity and biological carbon capture is still important, and agriculture and sourcing. So those are a few. We select startup in the domain where we are able to support them. It's not necessarily the best application we have. It's really the one where we believe we can make a difference and bring competence. And thank you to all our partners that really help with that. They are not only supporting the program, they are deeply involved in it. And like you've seen today, we have the first pilot site, and I hope we will have much more pilot in the future. This is our goal, is to do concrete things. So thank you so much. And I think we're right on time, 2 minutes in advance for the cocktail, but you're welcome to continue the discussion in the next room. Thank you so much, everybody.